Kathie Lee Gifford didn't hold back when talking about Kelly Ripa's new book. In her memoir, Kelly dished on her quote-unquote complicated working relationship with Regis. Kelly said they weren't friends off set, and it took years for her to earn her place on the show. But Kathie Lee told Good Day New York she had a very different experience with Regis. Watch.
I'm not going to read the book. I haven't read it. I don't even know if it's out yet. I just know, I know what Regis was to me, Rosanna. He was 15 years the best partner a person could ever have.
Okay, Tori, so you were about to have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, and I don't, first of all...
So it's a strange way to set it up, but I love it.
Here we go. Boom! One thing that got me was that it's posthumous, so Regis isn't here to speak up for himself, which that always makes me a little uncomfortable. But I think both of these things can be true in this universe. I think Kathie Lee can have an experience that was very, very different. They came up together. They were closer in that way. Kelly came into a successful show. That's a newbie. She also could have a very different experience that both can live in this world. And Kathie doesn't have to read the book. And I don't think they oppose each other. I think it's weird to not let someone tell their story from their angle if we're like trying to shut down Kelly. Now, I don't like that Regis has passed. I find that a little difficult because he, again, isn't here. But that was her experience. I don't understand why we don't sort of testify to that.
I don't know. I have a weird point of view about everything. And I feel like I'm getting so outdated on the way I think and like work ethic because nobody thinks like that anymore. At least you're not allowed to say that. Why not show some grace for the man who made your whole life and say, you know what? This man changed my life and I'm still on air because of this man and everything I've learned because of this man. The ups and the downs, the bads, the goods, the friendship and the sadness is all that I've learned from this man. Where is that? Where does that go? You need to tell me that you had one bad day and Regis said something that might have been snappy to your experience in the hallway, but your whole life was changed because of this man, and you're going to share that part if that's the part we're talking about. I'm sure there's a lot of other things she said, but where's the grace? Where's the gratefulness? Her whole life was changed because of this man, and you're going to throw a shot at him after he's gone?
Maybe she mentioned that, though, just to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, totally, but no one just, everything's like, both sides of the fence is good, and this is great. It's like, no, it's not, man.
Right.
No, it's not.
But listen, we always have good days and bad days, right? We've been together for 5 years. I consider all of you my family, and I know that there's going to be ups and downs, ebbs and flows, like any family would be, because that's how close we are. So I'm hoping that in the book, I have not read the book, but I'm hoping that it's just the media hanging on to this one sentence and that there are moments where she did give him credit. I hope she did because she should, but maybe we're nitpicking or cherry picking.
I think we would all be conscious if we were giving a quote and we knew that a book was going to be written about DBL.
Right.
If I said, you know what, Jeff and I have had our differences, I would make sure that there wasn't a period, that there was a comma in that sentence so I could not be misquoted, but I would say he's one of the finest men I've ever sat next to. Yeah. Because if I'd go, Jeff and I, we butted heads. I just had a lot of issues with him. Tori was cool, and I mean, Jeff and I they're not going to get that second sentence. And if you give anybody an opportunity to go after the person that changed your life, people that want to sell books and sensationalize things, you have to know that that's the sentence they're going to take.
If I'm writing a memoir, I agree with you guys. Absolutely everything you said is right.
But I appreciate your point of view.
Regis did give her everything, and to be gracious is an art and should have been appreciated, and maybe it is. However, if I want to write a memoir, are you saying I have to cater and curate everything to make sure it's sanitary so that no bad comment? Then what am I reading? All good things. Nothing has any kind of conflict to it?
I think it's just say what you mean and mean what you say. So if we had negative interactions the whole time, and Jeff on here, then say that and be honest. But don't give anybody any latitude to say something where it can be taken either way because you know which way they're going to take it.
Be smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Say what you mean.
Great point of view. Okay, George Clooney is talking about being an older dad. George became a dad at 56 when he had his twins with Amal. He told Hoda Kotb he's not scared of being too old to miss major milestones in their life. Watch.
No, I kind of like the idea of being sort of out of it when, like, my daughter starts to date. Papa, I want you to meet, he's a drummer in a band. How about? I like toast. I'm okay with it.
So what do we think about this?
I mean,
for me, it's my mom. For me, I'm 40. I don't have kids, and the thing that gets me is my mom won't. If I have kids later, she won't be able to see the bat mitzvah. That's what gets me. It's like I understand what I gave up to have kids later in life, but it sucks for the parents.
Oh, that's really honest, Tori.
Yeah. I think that's what I think about the most, and I know Erica feels the same way. And that's all I think about is the marriages, that all that, you know, I put it off for this and for when I'm comfortable to do it, not for her, but she's missing out on that. And that sucks. Sorry, Mom.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, but I told that we had this conversation earlier. That's why. But I told him, like, you can't have kids based on someone else's wants or needs, right?
Exactly.
Bringing a child in this world takes a lot of love. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of strength. We're getting up at 2 in the morning, night after night, and sleep deprived. And you don't want a thought coming in your head saying, I didn't even want you. You know what I mean? Because you think some crazy things when it's day number 2 weeks in and you haven't slept and it's 3 in the morning, and having that on your mind is not something you want on your mind. So.
Right.
Do what's right for Tori.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. I really do.
And I was going to say, to Jeff's point, you're going to have the thought the other way, too, because if you had children, you would be at home, maybe watching DBL.
I wouldn't be here, right?
I could be, that's my seat that person is sitting in. And it's, I was talking to somebody who was looking at our Giselle-Tom Brady conversation, and we were emailing back and forth this weekend, and I said it's just such a tough situation for women, because if you're career-driven, it's not, you know, society, it's your aunt.
Yeah.
And the person who changed your diaper and your mom going, Sam, you're killing me. Where are these kids? And if you get the kids, then they're like, you know, Sam, I thought you had drive. What happened to the Sam that was a Division I swimmer? Now you're just at home watching TV. So good luck, ladies.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Ambition plus uterus is hard.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's hard.
A lot of pressure. But I will present one other point before we move on. He said at 56, and you even mentioned it too, it's exhausting, right? Yeah. I look at like 30-year-old Sam, and I'm glad I waited to have kids at 38 and 40 or ish. I don't know how I would be. Of course, George Clooney has help. I'm assuming he does. I don't know how I would be at 56 years old. I'm tired now. Yeah. So I do think that's something that people that want to have children have to think about, because your energy changes drastically as you get older.
Yeah. I enjoy cross stitch. Yeah.
You are, yeah. Okay.
Should be fun for the child.
A new study suggests that 6 out of 10 people say a celebrity has gotten them through a tough time in their lives. People struggling with fears and self-doubt say stars like Oprah, The Rock, Rebel Wilson, Tyler Perry, and survivalist Bear Grylls have inspired them to push past these limitations. Now, almost 70% say they respond positively to celebs if they know they're struggling with the same issue. Has a celebrity gotten any of you out of a bad time? What about you, Jeff? Or Tori, what about you?
I loved, and we interviewed this person once, Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer.
Oh, yeah. You were really emotional for that interview.
Yeah, I cried, and he didn't really care. It was fine. It's fine. I don't worry about it in the shower. But what he taught you is, first of all, I got outside. I got Josie a dog. I rescued a dog to get outside. I wasn't leaving my apartment. So I got a dog to take walks. And then he taught me your energy will be felt by the dog, and that's when I started changing my energy and realizing how important energy was, and that took me on a whole other journey.
Jeff?
I'm laughing because earlier we did this and I got a sticky note to go in order.
I did too.
Oh, you did?
And
you didn't follow it.
I messed up.
We can do it, guys.
See, Karen, who needs the sticky note now? All right, so that was you had to be here for. Anyways, Tony Robbins was my guy. I know it sounds super cliche, but when I came back from California, the first time a failure, I was done playing football, bad relationship, everything. My boss that I worked for at the time really taught me about the power of positive thinking, and it's changed my life. From that moment, he taught me to thinking positively, to just everything, and it started all with Tony Robbins.
What did your boss say that like really resonates with you?
He would put me in the room for half of the 8-hour day and just be like, sit in here and listen to positive things, whether Tony Robbins or some other motivational speaker. And he's like, I'll pay you just sitting here. Because he knew me when I was 16.
What an angel.
And then 10 years later, he's like, you're not the same guy. We need to get you back where you were. And he changed my life.
Incredible.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Man, that was...
Albert?
Yeah, for me, it was Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Even though, again, talking about seeming cliche, but if like, I think when we see Muhammad Ali, we see him through 2 lenses, just as an incredible boxer or as a, an advocate for marginalized people. But what I remember most about him is like right up until the end, like he was thrown in jail during his prime,
right?
Like when he was going to be at his height, and he didn't let that make him bitter,
right?
And that was like a skill that I did not possess. As a comic, my default is bitter. I'm like, we'll start at bitter, and then if we change, cool. So like looking at Ali, it's really helped me to to remember that I've been blessed with a lot and to accept that and not go so
That's
negative.
a great call.
What about
Beautiful.
you, Sam?
Mine, she came on the show. She's a local here, Amy Van Dyken,
Yes.
6-time gold medalist. And what I loved about Amy is, one, not only as a swimmer, I wanted to be just like her, but she became fast later in life. So like she actually became really fast in her college years. But then what a lot of people may not know if you don't follow her story is she became paralyzed from an ATV accident. But she still is positive, still is an advocate. You know she has so many battles that she does not talk about, but she's still a champion, whether she's in the pool or whether she's out of the pool. She is a champion. And she was a great role model back then, and she's an even better role model now, and I will forever. And when you mentioned crying, I don't know if you guys remember when she came here.
That.
It was so embarrassing. I did not expect it. I was like hyperventilating in the corner.
You like lost. It was so
Well, I was used to having posters of her and her times above my wall, so I would have them cemented into my brain so I could swim as fast as her.
That's cool.
Unbelievable woman. We love you, Amy. Come back to the
Yes.
studio.
Absolutely.
She's like 10 minutes from here.
Come on, Amy.
Follow her on Instagram. It's
I
hard
do.
not to be inspired because she's always happy, always doing something. Always, I follow her too.
The best
Amy's
part,
army.
I was so excited to meet her. She looked right past me and went
She was
right,
like,
to
Jeff.
Jeff.
I was a little embarrassed because I knew how much you were like looking
was
forward to
like-
that, but I still took that.
Yeah, she's a Jeff fan. She's a
Like,
Big
and back
Brother
to you,
fan.
Tammy.